Okay, people, welcome back to what are we on? Part 3 now, is it? I've already lost count. Which is kind of weird, considering didn't I just say I'll see you in part 3, and then in between times I managed to completely forget. Oh well, one of those things, I suppose. Yeah, welcome to part 3, and see, we're doing quite well, I think. We're doing quite well. I managed to keep talking for the most part, the occasional pause of quietness, but am I going to need that again? I don't think so. Yeah, you can pop off somewhere where I don't need you, because that was my fault. Okay, that's that. Yes, actually, that can all fuck up there. Again, another trick, if you go with just the item you need while doing this whole plant thing, you can pick up all the herbs that are stashed away in that little greenhouse, and that's very good, because herbs are good and you want to lug around as many as you possibly can. And you want to turn the handle to red. Don't turn it to green. If you turn it to green, it'll just kill the herbs that you're here to collect. You don't want to do that. Especially if you want to actually freaking collect them, because there's a lot there. And you get one of these face mask things. Death mask. Ooh, scary, I suppose. And picking up herbs, picking up items, doesn't it take ages? Anyway, let's see. Something to talk about. That's not me just talking about what I'm doing. Oh yeah, well, we're in part 3. So, I'll tell you about some of the research I did. I mean, it's not like massively in depth, but because this game's out on PC, it kind of gives you the opportunity to look at the variables that the game uses. In particular, watch as I just completely ignore the zombies that break through the window. In particular, I was looking at health and damage, and like how the game changes it up between Jill and Chris. Now, there was always a lot of, I suppose, anecdotal evidence, you know, I mean, nothing ever hardcore, but it was definitely often speculated that Chris had more health than Jill. The idea being that Jill had the lockpick and 8 inventory and had Barry wandering around helping out, whereas Chris had 6 items, lighter, had more health, and could take a hit better than Jill could. Now, I believed that for a long time, until I actually started looking at the numbers. And you know the old saying, numbers don't lie. And I found it very interesting. I mean, in terms of maximum health, it is fair to say that Chris has more. Jill has 960 points of health. Chris has 1,400. So that's quite a significant difference. Certainly. But, wait a minute, where am I going now? I need to go upstairs. But the thing is, it's pretty much meaningless at the end of the day. It is almost entirely meaningless, in fact. You see, I worked out that, I mean, there are basically 2 types of zombie attacks. You can shake a zombie off, and he'll just give you the sort of quick bite, which is sort of a small attack. And then if you don't shake the zombie off, he does a kind of triple bite. And, oh, don't worry about that. It's just a dead Kenneth. He does a kind of triple bite. And I worked out through essentially just letting the zombie bite me and watching what happens to the health variable, that a full triple bite zombie attack will take 536 points of health off of Jill, which is actually 55% of the health. A single shake off one attack will only take 288. So, yeah, you can see that. But the interesting thing is that with Chris, a triple bite zombie attack will take 760 points of health. What the hell am I doing? I am so busy talking that I am getting completely and totally distracted, and I shouldn't be down here just yet. Which is kind of weird when you think about it. I mean, 536 points for Jill, 760 points for Chris. Now, I actually worked out percentages on this. Turns out that Chris, the triple attack on Chris, takes off 54% of Chris's total health. And as I already said, the Jill triple attack takes off... Oh shit, what's the order on this? I can never bloody remember. I think it's this one. So, essentially, Chris having more health is rendered completely pointless by the amount of damage that the zombies actually do to you. Because in terms of percentage amounts, they take off exactly the same. Which, as I said, is pointless. I mean, okay, you could argue that Jill gets 55% taken off, whereas Chris gets 54%. But let's be honest, that is virtually meaningless. Isn't it? And it's just like, the whole point of playing as Chris was that you'd have... I've already pressed that. The whole point of playing as Chris was that you would have more health, so you wouldn't have to heal as often. And it's actually complete and total bullshit. Because you have to heal just as often. Because the zombies do, comparatively, the same percentage of damage. And so you have to wonder, what was the point? The only significant difference I can come up with is how much health... am I going to have to... Yeah, I'm going to have to put these away. How much health you actually recover when you use a herb. Because Jill, using one single herb, Jill will recover 220 points of health. Chris will recover 350 points of health. Which means if you were just using single herbs, it's that... put all these away. It's that Chris takes, I think it's 4... Is it 4? 350? So yeah, Chris takes 4... herbs, 4 individual herbs to heal up, whereas Jill takes 5 individual herbs to heal up. But of course, if you're so hurt that you're down in danger, you're going to use a triple herb, or a red-green mix. So, again, Chris's sort of good parts are kind of outweighed by the fact that ultimately they're meaningless. Which is just bizarre, you know? You think that... I don't know, I mean, I was talking to a friend, and you think that... We were saying that it kind of negates the advantages, or the supposed advantages, to playing as Chris. Another Barry cutscene. And... considering this place is full of monsters, you'd think he'd be a little less... you know, he'd be a little more attentive.
Well, I guess we were right about this mansion being quite unnatural.
I also had a look at the, anyway, skip that. I also had a look at the damage poison does, and it actually takes off. No, I can't pick that up, otherwise I'll have to drop something off. The poison takes off roughly 10 points of health every 6 seconds. I don't know why I did that. Blah, blah, blah. So you literally lose 10 points of health every 6 seconds. So, if you're at full health, 960, 10 seconds, I'm sure you can do the math. Because I actually didn't, and 960, 10 seconds. There's 96 times 6. Shit. What was I doing? Oh yeah, 96 times 6. That's 4 minus 600. 4 minus 6. 24. Is it 24? Yeah, 24. So it would be... What the hell am I doing? I'm getting distracted. You're distracting me with maths. This is not good. Can't be distracted with maths. What was I saying? 600 minus 24 is 76. 576. So it would take 576 seconds to kill Jill. And obviously it would take longer for Chris because he's got more health. So I suppose in that sense Chris would technically last longer against poison compared to Jill. I suppose that's one slight advantage, but I don't know. It just... The whole idea of playing as Chris was that, you'd have these advantages over Jill, and turns out, in the end, it's all bollocks. Like, complete and total bollocks. And it was just kind of disappointing to find that out. You'd think they'd be careful, or at least a little more careful, when designing. I don't know. I mean, I only tested it, admittedly, I only tested it in normal difficulty. I didn't get round to testing it in easy or other difficulty, so maybe the health taken off is a little more bearer, I suppose, in the other versions. I really don't know. It's a strange little thing. It really, really is. Anyway, if you're very careful, and if you've been following this carefully, you'll notice that I only go through this door, this way at least, twice. And there's a point to that. Yes, look, I actually discarded it that time. Anyway, point being that you can only go through... which one's which side? I can't remember now. Is it? No, I think it's the other way around. I think it was this one. Yeah, that's right. It hasn't been that long since I played this, but my memory's playing up. Yeah, green crown, orange bracelet, purple necklace. There we go. That'll do it. And... what the hell was I even saying? Oh god, I got completely distracted with that puzzle. Ah! I could never hold a thought for more than 5 fucking minutes. Interesting thing, if you're coming here with Chris, don't forget to bring a small key to unlock that gate, because it's a nice handy little shortcut. And it does mean that you never have to go into that corner corridor with those dogs that burst through the window. Which is useful as hell. Anyway, pretty sure we're moving on towards the giant snake boss. Who is fortunately much easier to avoid in this particular version of the game. But first we've got to save our old buddy.
Richard!
Yes, that was his name.
You're wounded.
This whole place is a killing
I will say, at least this guy's voice actor was about 1,000,000 times better than the voice actor they got in the original game, because that was just terrible.
big snake. And it had to be poisonous.
Poisonous?
Of course it's poisonous.
Richard, hold on.
Bring me serum. I saw some, but didn't bring any.
I'll go and get it, okay? You're gonna make it.
Thanks.
Well, he will make it, but temporarily, let's be honest. Yeah, I know where it is, thanks. I'll equip that. Might as well run a little bit faster. For the record, you don't have to do this, but to be honest, there's no reason not to. Because if you do this, then you get a much better shotgun. Oh, bollocks. That was my fault. I forgot he moves position. Bastards doing that, honestly. How are we doing? Oh, still got a couple of minutes left. I'm trying to actually have sort of regular segmented sections, you know? Which is sort of both successful and not successful at the same time. But it does mean keeping an eye on the time, which is easier said than done. Especially for someone who gets as easily distracted as I do. You may have noticed that, by the way. Tell you what, I will go out this way because I forgot to unlock the other door. I mean, you can come out here. I don't think anything else shows up. Usually I don't come out this way, but why not? I'll show you all the beautifully rendered backdrops. Literally backdrops. Pre-rendered backgrounds. You know, that is one genre of game that is sorely neglected these days. I mean, a lot of people complain about, you know, static backgrounds and, you know, this type of games sort of relegated to the past, I guess.
Here, Richard. I'm gonna give you a shot. Hang in there.
But I don't know, I kind of miss them.
Jill, here's my radio. Take it.
I mean, I suppose sort of survival horror types was a kind of evolution spurt of the whole point-and-click adventure, you know, running around, picking up items, using them to solve puzzles and all that. So I suppose that's kind of where it comes from. Maybe. Herbs. Well, that was lucky. Oh, bollocks. Ah. I always forget the lighter. You know, when I was picking up the serum from that room, my mind was screaming, "You've forgotten something." Like, no, I haven't. You've forgotten something. No, I haven't. Stop telling me I've forgotten something, because you'll make me look silly in front of all these internet people who are watching me right now. Or who are sort of pseudo-watching me, because they're not actually watching me right now, but they will be watching me, and it's all very confusing. And I was just like, I was completely ignoring him. No, I'm fine. I'm perfectly good. I haven't forgotten anything. You've forgotten something. Piss off, I have not forgotten anything. Yes, you have. I was like, no, I haven't. And it turns out I have, because I'm a colossal moron. It's also the fact that when you're playing as Chris, of course, because you're lugging the lighter around with you the whole time. I mean, firstly, it's one less inventory space you have to carry around, which is good, considering he's only got 6. Oh well, I think I'm getting towards the close of this episode. So I'll leave the mystery of what's in that darkened room for the next episode. So, yeah, have fun there, everyone. And I will see you in the next part. Bye.